Where art thou? Tote. Yes, my tote is missing. In fact, we're doing a restoration of the number 5 Stanley Bailey handplane, and this is a wartime effort handplane with the Bakelite adjuster for the to and fro for the blade iron. But that's not what we're talking about today. No, well, actually not what we're going to be doing. We're actually going to be doing something. We're going to make something. We're going to make a tote with a battery-powered chainsaw. Well, actually, no, we're not going to use that. No, we're going to be using some basic tools, such as a spoke shave, a handsaw maybe, a handplane. Well, but why is this tote special? Well, it's made out of plywood, as you see. It's a special, very thin tote. No, okay, I jest. No. It is my pattern, and I will be uploading a PDF. I'll get my worms out in a minute. A PDF of this pattern. Now, this is the pattern that I use for my totes. I've done 3 hand planes like this so far, so this will be the 4th. And it's actually a really good design, because what happens, as you see, your hand always falls in the same position. So if you've got a muscle memory when you're using your hand plane, your hand always falls in the same place. It actually makes a difference, you know. So what we're going to do is put that over there, because that is the one on there. That's my tote design. And we're going to be making one for this 1940s hand plane, number 5, which is a jack plane, yeah? And I'm going to be making that out of a piece of cherry. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I've got a piece of cherry. Here. All right. Now, I do apologise if this video ends up being a bit on the long side. So I'm hoping I don't need an editor. I'm hoping that I am. I've got 3 drill bits ready. This is the actual threaded bolt that holds the tote into place. I've cleaned it all up. And it does actually have some corrosion on it. Just there. It's a bit thin there. I could actually think that I just put a little bit of weld along it and then grind it all off again, and that'd be fine. But I think there's enough strength on there just to hold the tote on, so that'll be okay. But that's what happens, you see, if you don't release your tote and lubricate your tool. Yeah, hence this threaded rod, stop from corroding. Because you've got moisture, you see, in the handle, gets trapped in the handle and rusts all this mechanism here. So, let's put this to one side at the moment on this magnet, so I don't lose it. Don't need that at the moment either. But the first thing we need to do is transfer the pattern of the tote onto my piece of wood. Yeah, in this case, it's a piece of cherry. Now, when I do this, I think ahead. It's usually a good idea. Alright? Make life easy for yourself. Because when I usually make these tote handles, the round on the tote I put on with a router. You could carve it by hand if you like, what have you, and do it that way. But I generally do it with the router, because it's uniform. That's how I've done all my others. So I'm going to do this one exactly the same. So, thinking ahead, you have to think that you don't want to be like rolling off these corners with the router and then accidentally rounding it off. So I tend to make them a little bit longer than they need to be. So what I'm going to do is, so which way round it's going to be, probably about like so. Now the grain on a tote doesn't go that way. No, you actually have the grain going that way, across the tote. The strength is gained because you've got the threaded rod going through there, you see, hold it all together. Now, if your tote is loose, the likelihood is your handle, your tote, has actually shrunk a little bit in that direction, but you can correct that by shortening your threaded rod just a little bit, just enough to actually take up any slack. It works. This is something else I've done in the past, and it's also been done on this one. A little block of wood's been glued on the bottom here, and that sits in the recess in the actual body of the plate, and that helps prevent it from twisting. It's almost like a Morton tenon, you see. So I might do that as well. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to transfer the shape of my tote via the template or pattern onto this piece of cherry. And that's what we're using today. We're using cherry, and the grain is going sort of that way, which is fine, absolutely fine. I'm happy with that. So let's bring it around here like that. I don't want to waste any cherry. All right, I might better make another tote, mightn't I? So make sure your pencil is reasonably sharp and draw around your template. In this case, I've made the template out of a piece of 3mm ply. You could use pretty much anything you like, I suppose, or a piece of cardboard even. And that'll mimic the shape of my tote. I'd rather go slightly... Oh, damn, I slipped. It moved. Oh, I could have used a bit of double-sided sticky tape or super glue and painter's tape. Right, okay. I've transferred that shape onto my piece. Which basically all we'll do now is cut it out. But like I mentioned a minute ago, I want to think ahead. Now, at the moment, it's currently there. Right, I'm going to actually cut it about there. Okay, because when it comes to routering this round, I don't want to slip off the corner and damage it. And also, the excess piece there could be that little part of the mortise if you want to do that. And I think I will. So I'm just going to extend the length for that one there, like so. But that'll be gone. That will be gone. So first of all, you've got to think about your simple cuts first. Now, simple cuts maybe, well, that's the simple way of doing it. Is take it to the bandsaw and just cut it out. Or down over to the to the scroll saw and cut it out on there. But we're going to cut it on the with a well, best that we can with a coping saw. I might do a bit better. Actually, do you know what? Should we do a bit of everything? I think we should. I'll tell you what. I'm going to cut that first with a handsaw. Let's put the hand plane over there, and I'm going to shove it in the vise for that. I know you can't see the shape because I need to. I was a bit hiding to nothing, wasn't I? Right, so I'm going to grab my panel saw, because that's what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to cut that off first. It's made that long for a reason. So too many people doing this. Okay. If you look at the design, because I've got those extra little bits on there, it's more intricate, isn't it? Now you could use a coping saw. I'm going to do a bit of both. I'm going to start it off with the coping saw, and then we're going to maybe do a bit of scroll saw, and then maybe a bit of bandsaw. Could even use a jigsaw, to be honest, with a scroll saw blade in it. I don't want to cut that bit there first. I want to cut that here first. And the reason for that, the more intricate bit, because I can use the rest of this piece of wood, you know, as a way of stabilising it. No, I can shove that in the vise, can't I? While I cut this more intricate bit. And let's try that bit first. I will try that first with the coping saw. Let's bring it a bit closer, so you can see. Alright, here we go. Down there, like so. Now, you can't see my mark, so I'm not going to worry about the top. I'm going to follow the actual shape where your fingers go into first. Now this blade, I think it's fairly tight. This is an Eclipse coping saw. Had for donkey's years. The most work it's ever done is on skirting boards. Wax. Even the fact that I'm doing it by hand is getting hot. Well, for a start, it's definitely not perpendicular. No, it's not too bad actually though. No, actually, that's actually pretty square. That ain't too bad at all. Yeah, that's all right. That's not. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, it's not bad for coping saw. Right. Before I cut the rest, it makes sense to make use of this extra bulk. You know, to clamp it in the vise and what have you, and also stop some of the old chatter when you're trying to do the shape. If it's a tiny piece, it's gonna be hard, isn't it? Hard to manoeuvre and grab hold of and stuff. And if you've got a carpal tunnel like me, you might have a little bit of, you know, difficulty. Now, you can use rasps if you like. You just use good old sandpaper. A broom handle, alright? So you can actually just do some of these shapes. And that's what I'm going to use. A bit of mix of broom handle and a old domino. A length of domino. For my domino down with a bit of sandpaper around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I get all this shape first and cleaned up first how I want it before I start cutting the rest of it. You can probably see there it's got to follow that line, you know, to the bottom here. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'll do that bit afterwards. So get this bit done first. Don't bother with one of these. A round surfboard, like a rat tail. Oh my god. Rough as old guts it is. Oh, blimey. I suppose if we're roughing up it is, you know. Don't don't like it. Saying that is doing the job. Now your hand is going to be a different size to mine. So although I've done that template, you might need to tweak it to suit you. Suits you. So basically, if you feel there, if you look there, those two things, my little finger, and that finger falls just like so. And as such, when I'm going to use the hand plane, that thing I can rest on the side of the plane iron or on the frog. And that's kind of how I like to roll. That's how I roll. That it is. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. I might take it back about the surfform. It's actually working. It's rough, but it's, yeah, it's doing it. So now let's go on to the old sandpaper now, I think. Keen for your painting or something like that. Do people actually do that anymore? Do people actually rub down their paintwork before they paint it anymore? I've written to so many people that don't. They don't know what primer undercoat is, I know that much. I want it done! Impatience. I might make a video about Wrangle Star. For the hell of it. I'm evil, me. Evil. Oh. Right, this paper's terrible stuff. Right, I'm quite happy with that actually. I think the rest of that we're going to do on the bandsaw. So, how do I do that? What haven't I done? I haven't brought the guides down to the workpiece. Otherwise, you don't have the guards, you see, over the top of your blade. And plus, your blade becomes not so stabilised. You say it's a bit fat, so we will be sorting that out in a moment. But first of all, we want to sand this up so it's not all rigid, because when I run the router around, like I was saying earlier, that bumpiness will be transferred onto the actual moulding itself. But you can see what's happening there. It's starting to feel quite good. Yeah. Now we've got this rubber mat here, but it's still likely to slip about. So what we're going to do is move it out of the way, and we're going to do a little trick. You've got to tweak it now. We're at that stage now, we've got to tweak it. It's a darn sight nicer feel than this. This doesn't feel positive in my hand. It actually feels like it's going to twist in my hand as well. Whereas this feels more like me. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. There you come. I'll put it in the vise. Before I go crazy and sand all the stands, it's all nice and it fits, you know, how exactly I want it, I'm going to do the tricky bit first, before I go any further in this. And there's a reason for that, is because I could quite easily cock it up. And that is actually drilling this hole from one end to the other, so they end up in the right places. Now if you look at this one here, we have this hole here that goes all the way through the handle, okay? And protrudes out there. It's got to be the same distance as that one there. So what I've done is on my template, my TOTE template here, the pattern, there's two little holes. They represent the centres of those two holes. So it's just thinking ahead all the time. But before I mark that one out, and before I try to get too clever, I need to make sure where it fits on the plane. It's going to be on there like so. At the moment, it is too high at the moment because it's actually going to be sitting lower. So ideally, what I want to do is cut that first. I don't even remember I actually had that much longer than it needed to be, so I didn't split the ends or go a bit crazy with the rotor. So if I actually put this into place, you can see how far out this is, how much longer it actually is. So what we're going to do is now is just mark that like so, and then I'm going to mark either side of this mortise to line it up, because I haven't got to be exact. I just want that to sit into the mortise, that's all. And then, how wide's it got to be? So, if I use my verniers here, you don't have to use verniers, use a bit of paper if you like, and just push up against it. So I want to be about, I'm going to go say 16mm wide from the centre. So I'll eyeball the centre, which is pretty much there. And then at 16mm. The rest in there, that's it, which is about there. Okay, that's going to be exact, but what we'll do is it'll stop from being able to twist inside the mortise. Now you remove that and that. Right, now I've got 11mm drill bit, which corresponds with this captive nut. It's fractionally off centre, but I'll sort that out when I sand it. It's in fraction. I don't think it's too bad because I eyeballed it. Now, that there, this captive screw, or nut, sorry, has to sit into the actual tote, like that one did. Now, it's an odd size. It's 11mm, is what it is. Oh, shall I stick it out like that? That's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, no, okay, well then. That's going to go on there, look. So, this other thing you've got to watch out for is this. Is your, it's bent anyway, it needs to go up straight now. Is it? So this is too tall. This captive nut is fractionally off centre, but I'll sort that out when I sand it. It's in fraction. I don't think it's too bad because I eyeballed it. Now, that there, this captive screw, or nut, sorry, has to sit into the actual tote, like that one did. Now, it's an odd size. It's 11mm, is what it is. Oh, shall I stick it out like that? That's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, no, okay, well then. That's going to go on there, look. So, this other thing you've got to watch out for is this. Is your, it's bent anyway, it needs to go up straight now. Is it? So this is too tall. I want to take a little bit off the top, just a fraction off the top of this, just so it's not touching. What we'll do is though, before I do that, because I haven't got the right size bit, like Forstner bit for this, it's 11mm. I haven't got 11mm Forstner. I haven't got 11mm spade bit either, or anything that'll draw a flat bottomed hole. So I'm going to have to make do with this twist drill. But it'll work. But because I'm going to take some off the top here as well, if it does bite a little bit and chip a little bit, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to remove the wood afterwards. So I need to take this down to about there. So, and then I'm just going to go a little bit further than that as well, because I'll take a bit more off the top. So I'm allowing for the flanges on the drill bit. Okay, so far so good. So let's see how far the captive screw sits into the handle. And don't forget the original handle's probably shrunk as well. So it should be fairly tight, because I've got 11mm and it's 11mm. That's about right. Let's see how it sits on the plain body again. So round, how's that sitting? Does that in? Oh, it looks good now. That's about right, isn't it? Yeah, I'd say that's pretty. Yeah. How does it look on this one? How much clearance have we got on this one? As a visual. Now looking at it, we've got more sweep on the front. If you look at that one compared to that one, it sweeps more. Now once I know it fits, I can then get all lovely with it, sand all up nice and think, oh, it really fits. So far, it's feeling actually really nice. Yeah, darn sight nicer than that. There's a bit of TLC needed, I need a bit more rounding here needs to be done. So I can feel it on my palm. Yeah, and with someone who suffers a carpal tunnel like me, having totes that fit properly, so it's still look nice at the bottom here as well. A bit more sanding on the front here, a bit more to remove there. Once I shape this up, that'll probably fall about right, so that's looking good. And then the scroll here, front here will have to be done. But that, yeah, that's lovely now. Look at that. I'm happy that that's plenty good enough. Okay, and now let's just try the captive nut, see whether or not we can install. So I've got the length correct now. So what time I round up these corners, that'll be correct there. And the back here, time I've just sanded that into shape, that'll be about right anyway. And then I've got to look at how I'm going to do the screw on the front here. There's little screws going there, just like that one there, as you see. Right, I've got to get it pretty now, haven't I? Tell you what, let's speed things up a little bit. I'm going to use the multi-tool, 180 watt B&O industrial power rotary tool. I ain't actually used this much, have I? So I think we're going to give it a go. Let's not worry about the flexible drive. What we'll use is a drum sander that happens to be in there. Well, that did make it a little bit easier. Remember, that finger isn't going to be on the tote. It's going to be out there like that, pointing at people. Yeah. Well, what can I say? We now have a tote on this Stanley Bailey number 5. Wartime effort, that it is. It's a nice tool though. And that handle, or tote, well, it makes a massive difference actually. My hand slides into place nicely, just like so. The finger is free to put either alongside the frog like that, or alongside the chip breaker and plain iron assembly. You know, my thumb rolls in there nicely, rolls in there, on the other side there. So yeah, there you go. Well, I will upload the pattern for this, so you make your own mind up whether you want to take this and adapt it to suit your own hand. Needless to say, this is made to suit my hand. But the overall shape is probably going to be the same. It's just your finger positions, really. So there you go, what do you reckon? All right? I think so. I think now it's a case of a whole load more TLC, sanding and what have you, some fine papers, a bit of sanding sealer, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to lacquer it, which I don't think I will, but or just oil it, probably. I like my hands to breathe, you see. Yeah, looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah, it's coming along, eh? Well, the next video will be the knob. How are we going to make that? Are we going to make the knob using a, well, the lathe, possibly, because that's the shape that I go for. It's like that, you see. I don't know, call that mushroom shape, you know. Or do we, well, make some kind of bodged up wood turning facility? Maybe out of an electric drill or a pole lathe or something like that. Depends on the weather, because I'll do that outside, you see. But anyway, that is my Stanley Bailey number 5 jack plane with its new tote and ready for its knob, as it is. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I do actually read the comments, but you probably already know. Check out my other videos. Some of them are silly. Yeah, I like silly, me. Anyway, yeah, it's lovely. It feels so good, and it does. Toodaloo. Don't forget to hit the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel and the little bell icon, because then you get one fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. Now, if you watched the first video of this, you will know that this hand plane was in one hell of a state. And now it's coming along nicely. That it is. It's going to be a usable tool. Toodaloo.